How much will it cost you to build a 3-bedroom house in Africa? It depends on the location. In Lusaka, Zambia, it will cost you. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bridget Wind. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, then welcome back. Today, I'm going to share with you details about how much it costs to build a house in Zambia, Africa. If you want to know these details, then stay tuned. So quite a few people are interested in knowing what the cost for a 3-bedroom house in Lusaka, Zambia is. That's because I recently shared a video of how I built my dream home in Lusaka, Zambia. If you haven't watched that video, I will link it up here and I will also put it in the description box. So, how much does it cost to build a 3-bedroom house in Zambia? First thing to consider is the location. The cost of a 3-bedroom house in the rural areas will be much less than the cost of the same 3-bedroom house in an urban area like Lusaka. The reason being, labor costs and land costs in rural areas are much lower than in the capital city, for example. So the location will determine how much your house will cost. Secondly, the size of your house will determine how much the cost will be. A house that is 150 square meters will cost less than a house that is, for example, 200 square meters. So it depends on the size of your house. The third thing, in my view, that will determine the cost of your house is the cost of material. The cost of material fluctuates up and down. I would say it's mostly going up. So if you decide to build a house today in 2023, it will be different from the cost of a house that somebody else built, let's say 5 years or even 3 years ago. So the cost of material is something to consider. With that in mind, let me give you some numbers. Please understand that what I'm about to share with you is information that is based on my own research and my own experience as a recent builder. So what is on the ground may be a little bit different from the numbers I'm about to give you. So do your own research and use what I'm about to share with you as a framework to help you prepare for your project. So currently, as I share with you this information, it's January 2023. The cost of building a 3-bedroom house in Lusaka, Zambia will range from $250 to $350 per square meter. Those are the numbers. So if we take the average of about $300 per square meter, what you are going to do is calculate the number of square meters in the house that you are about to build and multiply that by $300. Let me give you some examples. So if a house that you want to build is about 150 square meters, you take that and multiply it by 300. And that will be the cost of your house. And if you're building a bigger house, let's say about 185 square meters, you are going to take $185, multiply that by $300. That will give you the ballpark for your build. So based on these numbers, a 3-bedroom house in Lusaka will probably cost you anywhere between $40,000 to $60,000, depending on the size of your house and also depending on the cost of materials at that particular time. So that's why I'm giving you a range so that you will have an idea of how much you're going to expect to spend. Now, that may sound like a lot of money to some people, and to other people it's like nothing. So it depends on your background, it depends on what your vision is, it depends on what you're used to. The exciting thing about building in Zambia, especially for those of us living in the diaspora, is that you can use the power of the currency of your location if you have a better currency, and you can convert that and use it to build your dream home. In other words, you can literally take a $500,000 home, a house that would cost you $500,000 to build or to buy. For example, in Florida, USA, you can take that same plan and build that house for maybe $50,000 to $100,000, depending on the finishes, depending on the size. That is a small fraction compared to what you'd have to pay for that same house in another location. Now, the surest way to determine the exact cost of your project is to ask for a bill of quantities from your contractor. So as you prepare for your project, as you plan, it's important that you get the numbers from the beginning. That way you know how to plan. A bill of quantities will give you the services and the material costs broken down so that you know the total amount that you will need for the size of your house. So this is an important thing to have. Some contractors will give you just like the bare minimum. I would suggest that you go with a contractor that will give you details so that you budget and plan accordingly. In my experience, it's very rare that a building project will go on with no hiccup. Something always goes wrong. So in your budget, be sure to plan for emergencies. Have a little bit set aside just in case something doesn't go according to plan. That way, if it does, as it most likely will, your whole project is not derailed because of one thing. The other thing I would like to suggest to you is save up your money in phases. If you're not able to put up, let's say, $50,000, why not start with $20,000 or $10,000? Get the foundation done, then go to the next phase. Save up for foundation to roof level. After that, you can save up for framing of the roof, which by the way takes quite a bit of money, especially if you're using timber or even if you're using metal. It does take a lot of money. So you can save up for the framing of the roof, and then after that you can save up for the roof itself. The next part is saving up for the finishes. Tiles, for example, cost a lot in Zambia. You can work smartly and prepare accordingly. So, how much does it cost to build a 3-bedroom house in Lusaka, Zambia? If you have about $50,000, you can build a house. It depends on 3 things: location, square footage, and cost of material and labor. With that range, depending on the size of your house, it might cost you anywhere between $40,000 and $60,000. In the villages, it will be a lot cheaper. I believe you can build a decent 3-bedroomed house for as low as $20,000 in the rural areas. Why? Because labor costs are a lot cheaper. If you're building a 3-bedroom villa, it could be $150,000. So it all depends on the size of the house, the location of the house, and the cost of material. I hope the information I've shared with you has been of great help. If it has, please be sure to leave me a comment and let me know how much you've enjoyed this video. And if you are building, I would love to hear from you. How much does it cost to build a 3-bedroom house where you live or where your project is? I would love to hear from you. Also, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. The reason this is important is it will let YouTube know that the information that I'm providing to you is of value. I'm currently trying to grow my YouTube channel, and all the help you can give me will be truly appreciated. It's been a pleasure spending this time with you. For now, goodbye and God bless.